Nick Suzuki and CALE FLEURY have both made the Montreal Canadiens for 2019-20 on the opening night lineup. Now, as a result, Ryan Poehling got sent down. That's not a surprise. His concussion and overall his solid level of play were two really contradicting ideas here, but the bottom line is, for Ryan Poehling, he's a guy who will benefit more from first-line AHL minutes rather than bottom six NHL time. And also, the concussion, he's recently just coming off of that. So it's good to get him in the AHL, get him up to speed before throwing him to the Wolves in the NHL right away. However, I do believe that Ryan Poehling is a guy that will probably become a Hab by the time November is halfway through. He's going to be on this team eventually, and I don't really think there's any debate about that. Everyone kind of agrees. Poehling is good enough that he's going to be on this roster eventually. He's just getting up to speed in the AHL. But as for the two guys that did make it, Nick Suzuki and CALE FLEURY, this is a comment taken from our Habs on their subreddit here. Check it out. Imagine saying at the beginning of camp that Suzuki and Fleury would make the team, but Poehling wouldn't. Poehling and Juleson, they're currently not in the lineups right now. For Juleson, we all know that his health has been somewhat of an issue as well, but for now, it's Fleury and Suzuki. Two guys who really, really earned their ways onto the training camps. Nick Suzuki, I've talked about in the past, made a few videos about him, talking about how he's really good, talking about how he has the potential to make the team, talking about how he was great in the playoffs and all that for the Guelph Storm. But seeing that all in action for the Montreal Canadiens in a Habs sweater throughout the preseason was just so awesome. The way he slows down the play, the way he creates offense. He allows the things to open up on the ice so he can have some great passing lanes. He does all of that at an elite level, and he's going to be a great player in this league. As for CALE FLEURY, it's about time, man. 4 full years in college and an AHL season that was tremendous, followed up by an impressively amazing training camp and prospects camp. CALE FLEURY is a guy that I've had my eye on the entire time. I thought he was better than Brook at the prospects camp. I thought that he was one of the best defenders throughout the entire preseason for the Habs, and overall, he made the team because of it. He's now the number 3 guy in that right spot, beating out Christian Folin, beating out Noah Juleson, and overall, it's well-deserved. Very, very, very well-deserved. Checking things out here on the Habs practice, Suzuki is slotted in there on that second line with Domi and Lehkonen. That's awesome. And the way things are laid out here, Jonathan Drouin is actually on the third line. Now, that may come as a surprise to some people, but to me, I like it a lot because he's playing with Kotkaniemi. Kotkaniemi Drouin could be so deadly if things go along the way as they could. As for Suzuki, him playing with Domi is going to be really nice. I personally would have wanted to see a line of Drouin, Kotkaniemi, Suzuki. That would have been so cool, but hey man, Suzuki's getting top 6 minutes. As for CALE FLEURY, he's in that third pairing spot with Kulak. Folin is playing with Riley on what they're calling the fourth pair. So overall, I really like how things are being assembled here. Weber, Mete, Sherratt, Petrie, Kulak, Fleury. That's a really, really good top 6. And for your right-handed depth, Weber, Petrie, and Fleury, you can't really go wrong with that, man. Fleury has been so on top of his game, shutting things down defensively, creating things offensively. He was so good. He was good everywhere, which is why I immediately took notice of him throughout the preseason games for the prospects, and I was like, yeah, that guy was better than Brook. Call me out on some of the previous videos I've made. I've been saying it, man. Fleury looks better than Brook. Long-term potential, I still think Brook has the ability to max out to a much better offensive defender in the NHL. But as for where they are right now, Fleury is older, Fleury has more experience playing against older competition, and as a result, he just looked better in general. So that's not a surprise to me, but it was really surprising to me in general just to see Fleury come into the training camps and be as good as he was, which he really, really was. So Mega props to CALE FLEURY for making the team like this. Mega props to Nick Suzuki for making the team like this. As for Ryan Poehling, well, he's going to be in the AHL. That's not going to be a surprise, but overall, I think it's a good move for now. But by the time mid-October rolls around, by the time the end of November rolls around, he should be on this team full-time. And whether Bergevin is going to go out there, make some trades, do a little bit of shifting around here, moving up players and down, Poehling's going to find his way onto this team. He's just coming back from a concussion, so I can totally understand why he's in the AHL for now. But that wraps up what we have to talk about here today for the Montreal Canadiens and their lineup. Mega congratulations to Suzuki and Fleury. You guys are awesome. Hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.